Good morning. We are live. We are live here with Chappie's Crypto on the mic.
Here we
We,
go, guys. How you going?
Good morning, LUP, Dave, Aaron, Gustavo, Eric Smith, Andy's, Bill B, Carl, Ed, Stack, Cam, Kiwi Coop, Clockwatcher, Big Blaze, CEO, Andrew. Good morning, everybody. Let's go ahead and bang that like button nice and early. And today we are going to get it from the source on how to join the 10K challenge. JD, good morning.
I see my battle buddies in the chat there. I've got Kiwi Cop, and I don't think Jingle's said hello yet, but they trade alongside me every evening most of the time, which is pretty cool.
Nice. Yeah, that's always good to have. Always good to have a teammate. Even though sometimes your teammates try to talk you out of trades, which is that's the actual good part. That's what James was trying to do to me yesterday.
Pretty sure the guys have saved me a truckload of money because they took me out of ones that usually are losers, so it usually works out pretty well most of the time.
Nice. WSC over on Twitch, good morning. We have a poor low on the ES. Yes, we do. Yeah, so a poor low, anything within 0 to 2 ticks is going to be a poor low. But you guys can barely hear Chappie, so let me turn him up. All right, you guys should be able to hear him now.
How does that sound? People hear me?
Yeah, that should be good. Yeah, I had the volume down because like when I play the music, it sometimes it's too loud. They should be able to hear you now. Encryptic, good morning. Better. Okay, nice. Nelson G Money, good morning. Yeah, I would consider that a poor high as well. All right, whenever you're ready.
I was just going to say, you're looking at the ES at the moment, Brad. I'm getting distracted. Yeah, cool. So, I mean, obviously, you've been talking about the 10K challenge. I've personally only been trading probably since about February. Just like a lot of us just got into crypto back then. I got in the tail end of it, so everyone had already made the money by the time I got involved, and so my hodl's not really doing that great. Not that I've had that much in my hodl. Yeah, I've watched, like most of us watch truckloads of videos of all the people who are promised to make $10,000 in a month and all this sort of stuff. Which the reality is, when you watch most of those videos, you realize pretty quickly that it's all hogwash. Really, it's just most of those videos are someone that bought Bitcoin at $500 and they just happened to get the right timing and it just went through the roof. So, from my perspective, that's not real investing. That's just luck. So I really wanted to come up with a way that we could sort of keep ourselves accountable and have some sort of, I suppose, a long-term strategy that that can build some wealth as quickly as we could, but also have it so it's quite a sustainable program, really. So I actually came across a video a while ago just going through the power of compounding interest. It was actually interesting because it was a Bitcoin guy that talked about it. And he had this chart up with some indicators, and he said, if you buy low, sell high, you can easily make 2% a day, and et cetera, et cetera. And didn't go into any of the trading strategies. So once again, I wasn't that. I thought the trading part of the video was a bit silly, but the part that was really interesting to me was how he talked about compounding interest. And I think we've all heard compounding interest is quite powerful. But until you actually sit down to do the numbers, it's quite mind blowing. So the concept's real simple for me. It's start with $1,000. I've been putting some money aside for the last month or two, so I've got $1,000 in my Bybit account ready to go. I've intentionally lined up this challenge for me personally to line up with the launch of the live trading room, which I'm pretty excited about. So come the 2nd of August for me is day one for me in regards to formally counting my sessions. There's on that document, Brad, when you scroll through the document, you'll see down the very bottom of it, and that document can actually be found in the Discord. If you're part of the TPO Bootcamp, you can download a copy of that. If not, just get into the DM and then get into the Discord and send me a DM, and I'll just send you a copy of the document, which just explains the challenge. But ultimately, if you go to the compounding calculator website, it actually, you can plug in your numbers. So if you want to start with $500, or if you got $5,000 or whatever your starting capital is, it will just give you a plan. You set what percentage return you're expecting to get. For me, I want it to be realistic, because I don't think it's realistic for me to expect to make $500 a day or $50 a day. So I wanted to say, if I start with $1,000, can I make $10 in the first day I trade? And from what we've been experiencing so far, I've found that that's reasonably achievable. So my goal was, if we trade 5 days a week, don't trade on the weekends, so that this is a realistic goal. You can fairly quickly, it takes, using those calendars, the calculator on the website, it takes 232 sessions, which is roughly 10 months to turn that initial $1,000 into $10,000. That's all well and good, and it'd be lovely to have that, but ultimately $10,000 isn't going to change anyone's life. And then so the next stage of that is, if you look at year 2, when you look at those calculations, if you go from $10,000 to $100,000, that'll also take you 1 year, so 232 sessions, which is about 10 months. So for me, 100 grand is pretty good going. Once again, that's probably not life changing for most of us. And if you've got a substantial mortgage on your house, or you've got large bills, we need more. So for me, within 3 years, you using that same methodology, you can turn that $1,000 into $1 million if you're just doing the 1% a day. That's the far-fetched goal, but for me, first step, let's just focus on phase 1, which is just 1% a day. Nice and realistic. Start with that $1,000 in your account. How are we going to do it, though? Because it's all well and good. Number one, you need to learn how to trade profitably. I've been watching Brad and James and on the channel now for, I think, Brad, you guys have been going for 6 to 8 weeks, if not longer. And one of the things I really like about your approach is that you've really taught me that this thing is something you need to be patient with. You need lots of screen time. And your first goal really should be about trying not to lose money. Right. If you can trade consistently for a couple of months, or even a month or two, get to the end of that month and not be down on your account, that's been my goal for a while now, and I think that's a really good initial goal. I think once you get past that stage, then of course start to focus on maybe getting that $10 a day and that 1% return, or whatever your starting capital is going to be. The other thing I've been learning through this process is leverage is a killer. Particularly for newbies. And if you're like, I started back in February after watching, BitBoy, which I think a lot of us probably got involved in Bitcoin initially by seeing his YouTube channel. And I remember watching him trading on Bybit with 30 times leverage and talking like that was just normal. So I remember starting trading with my account. I put $1,000 in initially, and within probably 4 weeks, that $1,000 is down to $100. And that, purely from my perspective, was just not understanding how to use leverage properly. So listening to Bitcoin Brad, and full credit to you, Brad, I peeled that right back to 2 times leverage for about probably 2 months. Nice. And then over that 2-month period, I've just, really just understood how to manage your losses, have realistic expectations around what gains should look like. And now I'm trading personally.
Click a deep clank, the money goes into my piggy bank.
10 times leverage, but once again, I'm managing my stops pretty tight, and it's working okay. Still fairly neutral in my trading, so hopefully by the 2nd of August, there we go. I've just ordered fuel on my micro, on my paper trading.
Nice.
Anyway, so the first goal with that, as I said, is to be a profitable trader. The other part about this for me that's, I think we can all have ourselves on about, is being honest with ourselves about the wins and the losses. And so I think if you think about how to keep yourself accountable, you need a community around you that's like-minded. So I love our Discord that you guys run. It's fantastic. I think it's such a great community. It's probably the first trading community I've been to or been part of the conversation where people don't slag each other off. Everyone's very supportive. Everyone's very helpful within the Discord. So I talked to you guys about, hey, let's use this forum to just have this place that we can hold ourselves accountable. So we've created an accountability corner within the Bootcamp Discord, so that you can, each day after you've done your trading session, you can put up there what your results were, win, lose, or draw. And it just gives us an opportunity to, just put it out there. Like, we all love telling people how much money we made, but we're probably a little bit embarrassed when we've had a loss. So I think it's important just to be honest. And I think through that combination of learning how to trade profitably, plus also having a community of supportive people that understand the challenges that we're all facing. I think we're going to get there if we use that approach. So yeah, I really appreciate that you guys have gotten behind this challenge. It's pretty exciting. And as you see in that document, it just goes through the concept of how the calculations work. The link on that document takes you straight to one of the compounding calculators on the internet. But there's stack loads of them, so you don't need to use that one necessarily. And my goal once I start mine, I'm actually going to print out my calculations for the first month or two, and I'll stick it up on the wall, and I'll tick it off each day, and away we go. And hopefully we'll keep myself accountable against that. Yeah, as you see
Awesome.
in that, it's really cool calendar. It actually breaks it down day by day, and you can just go, I'm starting on the 2nd of August, and you can just keep yourself track against that. So that's the challenge. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. As I said, the number one goal is to have a goal that's achievable. It's it's something that's attainable. It's not unrealistic. And I love, Brad, you're talking about doing an ad to kind of rip off all the other get rich quick schemes that are out there. Like for me, this is a get rich slow scheme.
Yes. Yeah, I set up an AdSense account.
Nice.
And so as soon as it gets approved, we'll be able to make that. We'll be able to make the ad. So as soon as that gets approved, I'll get you on, and we'll record it, and then we'll post it. It'll be nice.
Yeah. So I'm pretty excited about it, and just full credit to you guys. It's so nice to be taught by guys that are genuine. I'm really enjoying the journey so far. Yeah, I haven't got much else to say about the 10K challenge, except I just hope everyone gets behind holding themselves accountable to just set a plan and stick to it.
I appreciate you coming on and explaining it. It's good to see like the community grow, and it's really good to see realistic goals get put out there. That's really like the kind of the message that I'm trying to preach almost, is that a lot of people are just looking for Lambos, and they're just not out there. They only make so many a year, so you got to settle for the Ultima sometimes. Still gets you from A to B.
Not too keen on the Lambo personally, but that's just my thing. My family's a bit too big to fit in the Lambo.
Yeah, mine too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just I'd like to just pay the house off first. That'd be a nice start.
Yep. That's the goal. Just paying those daily bills, that living expense.
Absolutely. I actually quite enjoy listening to you, Brad, when you talk about just hearing your kids in the background and just knowing that. I suppose this type of lifestyle, if you can make it a profitable one, lets you be in charge of how you spend your time, and I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, man. That's what I'd love to see everybody get to that, that time to value where you're just able to do, whatever you want to do, pretty much.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you're dealing with, what grade is the school that you're the principal at?
Well, we're a full. In Australia, it's called kindergarten, which is before grade 1. So we're kindergarten through to year 12.
Oh, dang! It's
630. The whole deal. We've got 630 students at the school at the moment, so it's pretty hectic. And we're in the middle of lockdown in Australia, New South Wales right now. So we're full lockdown and not allowed to go out unless you go into the shops. And we've got about 130 kids who are allowed to come to school at the moment. So it's pretty hectic times.
Oh, dang! So yeah, you're managing a lot of different emotions. You got like all the way from little kids who are irrational, and then teenagers who are just psychotic.
Absolutely. We got great kids, but yeah, it's they're all pretty excitable, which is great. It's part of the job. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Anyway, just on my paper trading and micros, just hit my profit, so that was nice.
Nice. Yeah, we can actually go over. So last night, I'll pull the ES over here. So last night I was texting James, and I was telling him I think that the ES is gonna sell off on the open tomorrow. And I was like, I think I'm just gonna get short right now, and this is right when I got back from swim lessons, about like 7 o'clock, and I ended up getting short right here at 13. And he was telling me, it's earnings tomorrow because Apple has earnings today, and big news for the stock market. Stock market's probably going to go up and all of this stuff. But I was looking at the news out of China, and if you guys haven't really seen this, you can take a look at it real quick. And this could affect the US when it comes to that. It could affect the US when it comes to crypto. It could affect it for the US stock market, everything. But basically, they're doing all these like lockdowns, or the word called basically like regulations, right? So they're doing this administrative regulation, this SAMR, and one of the guys who's a billionaire in China went to, and I know it might not seem like a big deal, but he went from being a billionaire to having $200 million only in a day. So they're seeing a pretty
nice.
and they it had a lot to do with the education. They like locked down a lot of the education stuff, and I know over there they have like it's very strict rules on a lot of things, but it really, just because of how big of the country is, it really could affect the way that crypto is going, because a lot of people invest in their market. So if people are starting to pull out of their market, they're going to need to put their money somewhere, and where do they want to put it? Something that's going to grow, and that could be crypto.
Yeah. Oh, it's a bit hard to understand why Bitcoin had that massive pump 2 days ago. Like, that's come from somewhere. I wonder if that was connected to some of that news.
It had a bit to do with the Amazon, and then it was like a short squeeze, and a lot of people just got wrecked. And then today we're seeing a nice little pump from last night. That's pretty cool. We had a nice little break of structure, got in, and then just rode it on up. We can go over what I do with the go over what I saw on the ES. Okay, so on the ES, what I was looking at. Okay. So if we collapse this on the ES, you can see that yesterday at market close, we closed high in value and price closed up. We got good excess. The auction was complete. We opened yesterday, ticked up. We just ticked up 2 ticks over the cash session high, and then immediately started to 1 time frame down. And I'll expand the bars back so you can see it. We immediately started to 1 time frame down, and even D came up over C just barely by 1 tick, but this is after hours, and it's really slow. Damn it. You missing really slow after hours, right? So decided to get short, thinking, okay, we're probably just gonna sell off. I was expecting us to come, back down to this value area low, and then when I saw this big dip, I was thinking, okay, well, there's some more downside. Let's see how far we can test. And then we put in a poor low. But I decided to stay in the position. I took I had some take profits at this value area low, and took some take profits, and then the rest I let run. It was 7 contracts short, so it was a pretty decent sized position. Oh, Crypto Dig's not. This is not Tino. This is Chappie's Crypto.
It's definitely not Tino. I'm sure his accent's very different. And I'm not a Forex trader.
Yeah, like we're coming right down to that poor low. We're gonna have to find some buyers, or else this thing's gonna bounce all the way to the sky.
But you've always, with ES, one of the things I've been seeing is it moves so much more quickly than Bitcoin.
Oh yeah, definitely does. That's why like with this one you can get in and get out, and you can make a decent amount of trades. I
Yeah.
still think you should try to limit your trades to, 5 to 10 trades a day, but um that's I think because of the ES trade, because of trading the ES has helped me be a better crypto trader, because I know that I have to stay patient with the ES, and it moves so fast. So when it comes to crypto, it's easy for me to stay patient because it really doesn't move as fast as the ES does. So it's helped a lot. But let's review the trade that we're still running now. So last night in the TPO Bootcamp Discord, I posted the trade plan before I went to bed, about 10 o'clock. Right. I got an alert on my phone, and was like, oh, so I had set an alert, kind of waiting for the structure to break up. It was
You're just using TradingView to set your alerts, Brad?
yeah, just using TradingView.
Yeah,
And then I
cool.
just pretty much have my phone like on all alerts, so it just goes off like pretty much constantly.
Not that you can get out of bed and run to the computer.
I have a laptop, so I just
Okay.
pull it
Yeah.
out from under the bed pretty much. And my wife was working too, so no big deal. Normally when I get in bed though, like if my wife's not working, I have my phone, like my phone has like this sleep mode, so I won't get any alerts or any messages or anything like that. So if my wife wasn't working, I wouldn't have took this trade. But so it came up, and I was looking for it to come up over 200, and when it did, like, hit me that alert. Then I was watching it, gave me a nice little market structure. I posted the trade plan, and was just looking for that entry right there above 400. It finally cracked it. About right here, we had a decent little pullback, and then one thing that helped me stay in that trade. So if we look at the bars, and I'll show you, there's a real decent pullback this morning. So right here, we see this red bar. It opened up here, and it just pretty much went straight down. And I just had my stop loss right here. And the reason is because we had those single prints. So we had a little gap, right, that couldn't close, even though these single prints are, very minute. They're not very prominent. But I decided to keep my stop right there. But the take profit one was at 37,600. I think it was like 611 or something like that. But by putting the stop right here, if this thing ended up coming all the way down, then I would know I was wrong in the trade anyway. Still cover a small profit right there, but this allows me to move my stop into profit and stay in the trade longer as the trade continues to go up. It's still running right now. The second take profit was at 37.9, and now we're seeing it come up a little bit more. We're actually seeing some good volume up here, right? So we're seeing a good battle up at the top, and this is the second area that I was actually looking for. Was this 5? The level.
That chart on your right, that's just the bid ask, is it, or is that the buy and sell volume?
This one is the bid ask profile.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is just showing if it trades on the bid or the ask. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
We're seeing some selling come in here.
Do you watch that the same way you sort of watch the delta? So you're really just looking at the movement and the change of movement, or are you looking at the actual shape?
I'm looking, well, I like to see the shape just because you can see like where this is kind of like a precursor to value, right? So we're super extended, but you know that there's some value in here. So if price comes down in here, let's say you didn't get in the trade, as price pulled back on this bar right here, if you see buyers step in, then this could be a decent spot to get in the trade on a pullback or add to a position, something like that. And that's why I like to see like this, like kind of Coke bottle shape. lets you see where value is at before value is getting formed, right? Because we still have our value area down here since we're so far extended up. But this lets me know that this is where people are valuing the position. Because a lot of times when you see, because we're up about, over 1,000 points with this, 37, 38.5. So we're up about like, well, I guess the bottom was 36. So we're almost up about 2,000 points. But normally you'll see like these really thin bid-ask profiles. It'll look, kind of like, little bit, and then like a little bit on both sides. But on this way up right here, we're seeing good buying and selling pretty much all the way up. We do have a couple of thin spots, which is where our single prints are at, so those liquidations. But other than that, pretty decent buying volume on the way up. And if you guys remember, if we look at, well, I guess we can't go back, but if we were to look at this move up, it was very thin. I think we probably could actually, let's see. Put this on. Yeah, so you can see how thin that is. And then you compare it to, well, like this is kind of in the way now, but you look at this and it's very, very thin on the way up, right? It did happen a little bit faster, but not a lot of people, it was mostly just people getting stopped out. So the buying was mostly caused by people closing positions, right? Because when you're a buyer, you have to turn into a seller. And then, you have to be able to close your position, you have to buy it back.
So when you're looking at that, you see the thin spot, like you're looking at that saying there's not a huge chance that's going to come back down through that big glut of transactions, I suppose.
Right, exactly. Yeah, so as it pulls back down into that, like on this this bar here, this current bar, as it pulled back down, it opened, pulled back down, and it has a good amount of volume, right? And so that's going to show us that there's some success there, and it can kind of act like a little rocket ship to push it up if you see buying stepping in. And that's kind of what we saw there. I didn't add, but it would have been like a decent spot to add. And the same thing on the previous, we got that pullback, would have been a decent spot to add. Or, this spot right here, when it pulls back, can't close those singles. That's kind of confirming the bias. And then the trade that I took last night, which is kind of the trade that we were talking about during the boot camp, and actually James called this one out. But there was we had come down on this bar here, and then we had this the second bar forming. Kind of, we were in the Discord, and James was saying, oh, we're going to go down, probably close those singles, and we did end up going down a little bit past the singles, but it was a pretty there it is. So we were about right here in the we were about right here. We had this pullback value area low, and James was saying, yeah, we're probably going to continue on down. And then we ended up coming down, and I ended up catching on my $1,000 account, ended up taking a long off the bottom on a rebound, just as like a fade trade, and I ended up closing it.
I saw your results on that. That was ridiculous. You did very well.
Well, I did 25x, that's why.
So on that trade there that you're talking about, where you took that short, where did you place your stop?
I placed it right under the bar. So the trade was from I don't know how'd you guys get the bold in the Discord too? I need to figure that out.
The bold, you just type it in and you highlight it after.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so it's
when you do that, it comes up with little shortcuts.
Pretty sure it was during this bar. Yeah, it was. So I got in at 37.1, 37.101 right here. So after it came down, so this bar came down, We closed those singles and then came back up. As soon as this bar opened, it didn't tick down at all. It just started going up. So that gave me the opportunity to catch the fade. So I ended up jumping in and riding it up. My actual target was 37.9, which I mean would have had to sit me through all this shit. But and I was actually kind of having issues yesterday, right? I was having issues yesterday with closing trades too early. Which probably led me to swing trade the ES today, which was I guess a good thing. But I was closing all of my trades too early by trailing my stop too tight. And this happened.
So on that,
oh, go ahead.
So on that trade, sorry, on that trade you just talked about, so you entered at about 37.1. So you had your stop just directly below the bar you entered. Is
right.
that what you're saying?
Yeah, right okay. There. Yeah, because if it came down and the chances of closing those single prints would have been pretty decent. So, and it was, I mean, we were in this big downtrend. It was just a fade. It faded right back to value area low and then rejected. But yeah, I was expecting it to go a little bit higher, and I kind of like got went in on myself a little bit about closing the trade because I just was trailing my stop up as we were going, trailing it up, and then got back ticked, and then it ended up going up a little bit higher, but because I think I ended up closing the trade at 44, something like that. I took my first take profit at 352, yeah, and then 444, but it ended up going up all the way to 6. But the issue I was having was, just closing these trades too early. I did it on the ES all day yesterday, and then on the on the Bitcoin trade that I took on stream, I did on that one, the early morning long that we took, and it ended up going way up there, right? Because I ended up closing it. Let's see, where did I get in that trade at? I'll have to look at the log. It shows yesterday's. I can't remember. I have to pull the log up, but I closed it on stream yesterday. I closed it early on this pullback, and it ended up going, on a pretty decent little run. But so I was having that issue, and so last night I decided, I wasn't going to stream because I was a little bit tired, and I was like, you know what, I need to rest. I actually talked to Graham. So shout out to Graham for hooking me up. But him and I have been bouncing off some ideas with each other and stuff, and I was like, man, like, because he does a lot of longer term trades, and most of my trades are short term. I was like, what do you use to kind of help you get in? And he was like, you know what? He's like, you probably just need to get some sleep. He's like, and I was like, you know what? That's probably a good idea. And I think it was I stayed up late playing video games with James on Saturday night, and I think that kind of did me in. I was just kind of overall still tired, and then even yesterday on stream I was feeling pretty tired, so got some good sleep, did some good meditation, did some reflection, and was able to catch a nice trade on Bitcoin and actually stay in, and then also take a good trade on the ES overnight. So that was good.
That's cool. I was just on the comments there. Progressive Martian just asked about, or they're talking about software that shuts you out if you lose too many times. I'm pretty sure that's a setting within things like Ninja, or I know in Trade8 you can set up your account to shut you off for a certain size limit of losses. And you want to talk about that, Brad?
Yeah, so normally you just talk to your broker, and it's set by a dollar amount. And the dollar amount is just set by you or whatever it is. I doubt that you can do it on. I doubt that you can do it on for crypto, because they're cool with you losing all of your money. But
yeah, there's definitely no setting in Bybit for that.
But for like your regular futures, your broker, they don't want as much as they want you to spend your money to make money, they also set a lot of limits. So like, I know with my broker, you can only deposit $10,000 in a month in a 30-day rolling period. But you just set the limit. So on NinjaTrader, you can go in and you can set a $500 limit or $1,000 limit, or whatever your limit is, to get out of, to lock it up. Why is there an upper limit? I just think they don't want people to blow their accounts, right? And the reason I know that is because I've lost that before and then tried to deposit more money and they're like, sorry, bro, you have to wait. So then you just have to call them and get on the phone and then be like, look, man, I have money in my bank account and I still want to trade. So figure it out. And then there's workarounds, but like when it comes to like an ACH transfer online to just transfer money into the account, they will not let you just transfer it in. You have to call your bank and then you have to call them. And then Luis, what's up, man? I want you to be able to keep trading, more commissions. Yeah, exactly. Better to close too early than too late. Yeah, Progressive, it is better to close too early than too late. But just the thing is like there was just no reason. There was no reasons for me to be closing so early, right? I wasn't, you know how I talk about your 4 tires in the boot camp, right? We have our 4 tires on our car. It's more of a van, but so I was getting my reasons, right? I was seeing correlation. I was seeing an imbalance. I was seeing initiated buying, and I was seeing a break of structure, and I wasn't getting any flat tires on the trade for some reason, but I was still pulling the car over to the side of the road. So it wasn't, it had nothing to do with the mechanics of the car. It just had to do with me, the driver. So what I had to do is just do some self-reflecting, right? And from there was able to figure it out, kind of do some mind melding and something like that to get myself in the right path and get myself back on track. The ES is just hanging out. Oh, good. Sorry.
It's one thing I remember watching in the Mark Douglas videos. He talked about the importance of obviously, cutting your trade when you need to cut it, but then also making sure if you got a winner, make sure you leave some on the table. It's one of those things that takes a long time to learn. Because oftentimes, like for me personally, I had 3 losing days in the last 3 days. And then tonight I had a winning trade, but I was actually a bit gun shy, so I was jumping out of the trade too early. And I look back and I still did really well tonight, but I probably could have doubled that if I just stuck with the trade plan. But I think if you're trying to recover from some losses, you just take the wins when you get them, but it's not always the right thing to do.
Right, and that's the hardest thing too. Is if you have a trade plan and then you don't stick to it, you take it out early, and then your trade plan works out. You're just like, ah.
Happens all the time.
Oh yeah. And that's the thing is, it doesn't just happen to anybody. It happens to everybody. And that's what I want to, kind of translate to everybody. And that's what we're seeing in this community. We're seeing a lot more honesty and, appreciation for the realism within this community. We're not most of the people that are posting their trade plans, like when you post your trade plans or when anyone else is posting their trades, they're posting these trades before they're happening, not, hours after they're happening. So it's and then having that accountability thing that you made is great, because, it lets people have a way to hold themselves accountable, because a lot of people, they don't have people in their life that are going to hold them accountable, because not a lot of people understand what it's like to trade. People think that trading is just buying stuff. That's it. Most people that don't trade, they just think you just buy stuff and then it goes up and then you sell it and make money. They don't understand that.
It's been really cool for me, because last Friday night I had a shocker. I lost 6.9% in one night because I was over trading. But I had probably 5 or 6 guys from the Discord reach out to me and said, "No, keep on going. Just don't worry about it. Just shake it off." And that was really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that's what this community is all about. We're all about building each other up and helping any way that we can.
Yeah. Just see Linux has got a comment in there saying his brain's stuck on 100x. Couldn't take any positions. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, so Links, that's a psychology issue. Are you in the Discord? I don't think I've seen your name before.
So his name a while ago in the comments, so I don't know if it's in the Discord though.
And that's the thing too, is like I encourage everyone to be, active. If you're not active in the Discord, I know people, some people are watchers and just kind of want to like lurk in the shadows. I closed that last trade. Good with that. Might just be a pullback, but we'll see. It's
I love Bearish Bull just to put a classic comment up.
non-binary and non-binary. Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, Eric, you're right. Understanding where the loss is going to be at before you get in the trade, understanding your max loss is going to help you big time. Oh, Links, you are in the Discord? Okay.
One of the things I was experimenting with on Go charting about actually using that risk to reward ratio to work out where my stop needs to be and then work out whether or not the trade makes sense. I've been experimenting with that. I've found it difficult to get it quite right, but it's sort of been working well to a point.
Yeah, that's good.
So you actually, you start off with, well, where's my stop need to be so I don't risk too much, and then does the entry even make sense then? That's worked well a few times.
Yeah, Links, have you read that book Trading in the Zone? Let's see if we fill these singles right here, guys. Yep. So that was a good close.
If you don't like to read links, I'd recommend those Mark Douglas videos. There's 4 of them. They goes for about 4 hours, over 4 different hour episodes. But I watched that about a month after I started to trade, and it totally changed my way of thinking about trading. It was amazing.
And they're also the book's also on audiobook too. If if you're just at work or doing whatever you're doing throughout the day, just toss some headphones in and just listen to it. Unfortunately, YouTube, if you have an iPhone, can't as soon as you like close your phone, it YouTube closes, which is stupid. But you have to pay for the premium for it to stay. But Progressive's asking your risk loss ratio.
Yes, it was an uncomfortable risk to loss ratio. To be really honest, that trade, after doing the TPO course, and Brad obviously went through the corner kick play, that was textbook for me. The trade was just too good to be true. So that setup's happened probably 2 or 3 times in the last 3 weeks, and every time that setup's happened, it's come off. So I actually went all in, or I did probably the biggest move I've made in the last week on that. I went 10x with half my account, just because I just said, look, this play in, it sat for 2 hours and then came off, but it was just, the setup was too strong. I did have my stop at 5%, so I was risking probably a bit more than I would normally would, but just the setup was too good. It was a nice dip. It was sitting there just consolidating for a little bit, and then it just went.
Were you trading Bitcoin or were you trading ETH?
I actually had a move on ADA first, and then I saw ETH set up exactly the same way. So I actually had one on ETH and ADA at the same time. Okay. But to be brutally honest, you could have placed one on Bitcoin or XRP. All 4 of them did the same move. Okay. And they all set up exactly the same way. So it was, yeah, if you just use it, and you could have had a really conservative entry on that move, and you still would have done really well. Like, look at that. Just,
yeah, nice little break.
And you had heaps of time to get into that move.
Yeah, it came up and it consolidated. popped
Yeah.
back up, consolidated, and then never took any heat, right? Back tested like the top of structure on ETH, and then just
It
kind
just
of
moved like it did move like molasses though. Oh my goodness, it was a slow move. Seriously, I was in that for 2.5 hours.
yeah. That's the thing is some of these moves they just take forever to work out. Like ETH is trying to close those singles to the downside.
I actually found having, I think you talked about correlation in the course. Having that 4-chart layout for me, where you've got BTC and ETH and XRP and ADA all open simultaneously. Usually one of them goes first, and it's just a really good way to sort of confirm what you're thinking.
Right. Yeah, there's a like so when I'm trading futures, I have these two charts up right here. And they're just on 15-second charts, but it's not because I'm looking at them to trade. I'm just looking to see like which way they're going. So if I see that the Nasdaq, this is the Dow right here, the YM. If I see the Dow is heading down and we see the Nasdaq's on its low, it's heading down, then it kind of leads me into an ES trade that will help me decide, okay, well, this looks like we're going to get short here. Let's try to find a good entry. Right, just just that correlation that you're talking about.
Yeah. Just progressive Martian, you just mentioned what videos I'm talking about. I'm pretty sure the links to the Mark Douglas ones are in the Discord under the education channel. I'm pretty sure. That's how I found them originally. I'll just go in there and just double check they're there. If not, I'll find them and I'll stick them into the YouTube chat in a second.
I definitely got out in time. Yeah. It looked kind of weak, so I was like, yeah, let's just close it. Oh, okay, I didn't know that. Look at this. Yeah, I'm not very like on the tech savvy. I can figure stuff out. I like to figure stuff out. But for something like that, I just figure, well, if I'm gonna watch it, I'm gonna watch it. I don't need to watch it like small in the corner. I want to be paying attention anyways. And James got me a laptop that's supposed to be, or not laptop, iPad that's supposed to be here soon. So then I'll just use that. Island Dan, good morning.
Progressive Martian, I just stuck the link to that Mark Douglas video. That's the first one of the series. If you just click that, you can watch the rest of them through that.
We got day 2 of boot camp today, the day that melts everyone's minds when we start looking at the profiles not expanded. So yeah,
I still haven't wrapped my head around that. I have to read that many times a day to really understand it.
Yeah, so I mean, basically, what you're looking at, so something like this is more of a trend day, but you see this kind of 45-degree angle, right? You see good excess, and we just kind of move up. We don't really have trapped sellers down here. It's just that they were just done, right? They got rid of all the inventory that they got up here. You see the market makers build a position on the way up, and as we move up, you just don't see, you don't see any aggressive selling. And so the market moves up, gets rid of some here, gets rid of some here, gets rid of some more here. And then, just once they get rid of all their inventory, we see this good excess to the top. The auction's complete. And now they'll just bring price down. They'll auction the price down until they find some buyers, right? And, if they have to go all the way back down to value area, which is, they're just right above value area high, then that's what they'll do. And we'll see these close these singles, and that'll let us know that there's some sellers. But if we start to get above these singles and we can't break those singles, well, that's going to show us that there's some buyers in the market, and this might be a decent spot to try the long from, right? Understanding that this will be our first target, so this 37,969 area, and then try to target that excess up there.
So when you're looking at that, like that's a poor low, isn't it? Like the base of that.
I wouldn't say this one's a poor low, no. or no, it's just good excess. So it comes down. We've got about 6 ticks right there. Even if we turn it to, now that we're having like the volatility come back, I had moved it. I was looking at it on 50 ticks yesterday, but it's still about 3 ticks. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
but when you look at that structure though, you're naturally long biased because of the way that structure is formed.
yeah, just because how the other bars are coming back down. So if we you just see like, so here's E here, and then F comes down, and then G, and then H only comes down to right here. So E or H doesn't even come down to the bottom of F, and then I comes down, and I doesn't break H, and so now we're one time framing up, right? And then J comes down, continues to one time frame. K comes down, continues to one time frame. L is way up here, but finally it finally breaks with N. And if we expand these, that's why I like it, so we can see the profile and the bars at the same time. But we start to one time frame off of this spot, and then N finally breaks, but N doesn't break K, right? So if there was supply, we'd start breaking some more lows. We broke the L and the M, but didn't break K, and then P comes down, and P comes down right to the low of N and doesn't go. And then Q stays above. And that's just kind of like your ideal time to look for a long. Probably could have gotten this long a little bit earlier, but just I wanted to stay patient after such a move down. And
yeah, almost that Q's almost that ideal entry, isn't it?
Yeah. As soon as Q popped above the point of control, that would have been the perfect spot to go in. And you can see like this good volume down here. So there's probably a bunch of people short down here, and that's what caused this big move up, is that they were getting short down here because they missed the original move down, and boom. And this is just the difference between retail traders and people using market structure is, we had this move down, liquidation through here. You have this bounce, smart money gets in here, trades it down. When it shuts off, they close their position. But when this opens back up, and I'll show you the bars, probably right here in F period and G period. So you had a bunch of retail traders probably get short right here. See like decent volume, and then at the bottom you see one big volume node. So people were probably getting real short, and then as it came up, they're just slowly having to buy their position back because they're trapped. Then once the structure forms, kind of back with this previous structure, we see that it's not breaking any of these lows, and then just slowly grind it up. Now we're seeing a little pullback right here back into the value area, and now price is just searching for value. So right here, this is our imbalance, right? Find some value here, doesn't agree with the price, continues its imbalance, bounces back up, finally finds value, goes back into balance. Then we start to get excess, and then we hit this imbalance, right? And then now we haven't found value yet, so it's searching for value. So where will it find value? Maybe around this level here, but if not, it'll come all the way back down, and then we'll see the fight at the point of control. And if you look at these two moves, right, they're very, very similar to yesterday. If you look at them side by side, you have this pull down here, a little bit of structure, pull up, we pull back, we don't break any lows, form a structure, and then pull up. Same thing here, pull down, we have a structure, pull up, don't break any lows, and then pull up, and now we're pulling back. So, and the important thing to watch here also is look at the value. The value is shifting down, right? We couldn't get, we we came up into yesterday's value, couldn't get back to the previous day's value area high, and now we're pulling back into today's value area. So this is letting us know that value is shifting down, right? Not saying that we're at the top right now, but that's something that you want to take note of. And that's where it comes to the profiles. When you're just looking at the profiles, which is what we're going to look at the bootcamp today, is you want to pay attention to the value areas and see where they're going.
Progressive Martian just shouted your coffee there, Brad.
Oh, awesome. Thank you, man. Thank you. Thank you, Progressive Martian. Is that exact chart posted? Yeah, this one's posted. 897, good morning. Let's see. Sorry, I was on a tangent. I was ignoring the... Yeah, the template's in the Discord, yeah. It's about time. Thank you, Progressive Martian. I appreciate it, man. What in the actual fuck happened while I was camping? Just making trades.
Bit of a shock when you leave it for 3 days, come back and the prices move $5,000.
Yeah. I mean, it was just about time, you know. What's frustrating is, so on the last day, I think it was week 2 of the boot camp. On the last day, No Credits and I were talking about doing a swing trade, and the price was at 29. We were talking about doing a swing trade. I was talking about doing a swing trade on ETH, but we were just talking about doing a swing trade to go long on, because it just had looked like that we were just done going down, and didn't end up doing it. Ended up taking a trade, but ended up just taking a normal trade instead of like a larger position. But I mean, it would have been a money
if
trade.
You're doing a swing trade, are you still doing that? Because you got to buy better. You Binance for that.
For the swing trade, I'll just go Binance. I'll just buy the position, like the full position.
Yeah, without leverage.
Yeah. I'll just buy the full position. I was just gonna buy like a couple of coins and then just ride them up. I think the name of this chart is No Gaps. Yeah, the name of this chart is No Gaps. You're right, Nikki. Yeah, I mean, the real thing, can you expand the TPO and Go charts? Oh yeah, you can.
My ExoChart subscription ran out and I haven't renewed it because I'm all in Go charts.
Yeah, I like them both. I think ExoCharts is just easier for the stream. I think that's
it is cleaner. Like, it's just clean interface.
So if you go here, you just click on this, click on your market profile. You can split all of them, or you can split just the last profile, or you can split none of the profiles, so they'll all look like that. So just make sure you're on if you have the 2 screens. Yeah, Lecker, were you yeah, you were probably in that class. Yeah, it was 2 weeks ago. Yeah, and that's what I was seeing. I was just seeing some exhaustion from the sellers. When you look on the Bitcoin chart, we saw kind of form a little balance zone for a while after the big move down, right? We saw this balance zone form, and they gave it one last little hoorah, and then when we came back up, the thing that really had me wanting to get in that swing position is that you see this balance zone here. When we came back, and that's why I have this green line here, we started to form value above it, back up into this upper balance zone. So we didn't even mess with this balance zone really at all. We just got above it and then stayed above it, and then just started liquidating fucking shorts for days. all the way up. Oh, you're meeting with the hat people at 3 p.m. Nice. The gaps, Andy. I just put no gaps because the other chart I had is this one, and it has the time gaps on it. So I just called this one no gaps. That's all. Nothing special. Just a little, name for it.
But I remember you saying ages ago that I think you said, once a week or something, you'll sit back and actually look at the structure and work at your balance zone. Is that still part of your normal process?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So like if we were to do that now, lines, there should just be a button to get rid of the lines. That's super annoying. Get it here.
And you're doing that just to get a feel for where you think the market's going to go. Is that the intention?
Right. And it's just to let me know like where the value is at. So like if you see, if you start to see these profiles form, in a relatively same area, so I can show. I'll just grab another chart because these charts have all these lines on them. I really don't want to delete all the levels because if we go back down the level,
You can just hide it up the top if you go to the
oh, here we
the
go.
eyeball icon.
Perfect. We raise the blocks. Let's do. So if we're looking at these profiles, right? And I'm looking for something like this, right? So this is a balance zone, but what I consider a balance zone, right? So here we have a balance zone. So take this. I like to mark these balance zones in green. I can change green forever. And so this is kind of what I was just talking about on the other chart, but so we have these balance zones, and this is how I'm kind of looking for the value in the previous like market structure. So if we go back, price at here, we have a, so we kind of see that it's kind of just kind of slop. See pretty decent balance right here. Just to here. Is there a way to expand this all the way to the right?
Not really. You just got to zoom it like you're doing.
I need to figure that out. And so it's lining up like pretty much, perfectly with where we're at right now, right? And that wasn't planned. I actually hadn't made this balance zone yet. But you see that, we're coming back into this previous balance zone, and if we go back to where we were at on the chart where we drew our balance zone from, kind of got that same similar price action. We had this pop up, we came back down, but that last time we came back through balance and then traded up, rejected off of balance, couldn't make it back up. and then, went on that little down move. But so this time, now that we're back in this balance zone, what we're looking for is looking for it to just kind of hold, or just kind of just stay in this balance zone. If not, the balance zone below is going to be here. And let's make this one a different color. This one blue. What? You don't feel good? Need some medicine? Okay. 1 second. Sit down. Kind of comes right to the top of that gap. About 501. 13 sound. And so with this, so if this is our current balance zone from previous, if we don't hold this and value continues to keep moving down, we see prices kind of jumping up again. But we will look for a bounce from here, right? If not, we have some more balance on the way down. But I try not to look too far out, because if you do, you just start getting kind of fixated and start developing a bias. And I know that I'm easily bias skewed, which is why I don't really like to look at candlesticks either, just because you see a red candlestick and you're like, oh, it's gonna go down. Like if you see this candlestick right here, if we look at it, it's a pretty decent sized red candlestick, and if it a lot of people are probably getting short. A lot of people shorted down here and are kind of stuck down there right now because they shorted the break of that value area high, trying to get that value area high to value area low trade. So they're kind of stuck down there. They need some more selling to come in to kind of bring them back to life. But that's why I like having no candlesticks on, because then you're not biased. You're literally just paying attention to the market structure. And most of my charts are pretty simplistic charts, just because it helps me stay away from the bias. Would you not mark liquidity zones also? What do you mean, Andes? Mark the liquidity zones. Like the single prints you're talking about?
Brad, you're
Yeah,
saying about keeping your charts simple. I remember you said that probably 6 or 7 weeks ago when we started doing this. And I remember when I found Go charting, I actually turned everything off and I only had the TPO letters, and I just traded that way for about 4 weeks. It was quite interesting just to use the TPO only without any other indicators or any other information. And yeah, it's amazing how simple it actually is.
Yeah, it really is. And when you can block out all the noise and really just focus on that, and then you can slowly start to add some of these things back, like the volume profiles. We talked about that in the boot camp, adding them back in, how to like really understand them, or the delta profile. And it just kind of helps you just pay attention to what's actually happening instead of just focusing on this and that. I was watching this video yesterday that James sent me about this guy that he trades futures, but he trades like kind of like a video game style. His it's just like just I mean, to me, chaotic. Like I don't even know if I'd be able to handle it. Just dots and lines and Renko bars and all kinds of stuff just everywhere. And it just seems to me something like that. Like if he would just, if he has these setups, or if he understands the way the market's going to go, if you were to just take a step back and look at the market structure, you might be able to find a better entry. The thing about the 30-minute chart is that, you know, a lot of people don't want to wait, and then they'll look at, like, you know, a 1 hour chart and then confirm it on like a 7-minute chart, and it's just like, ugh. You know, like, that's
You
not
see
a
that? Pretty sure C137's not in their room, by the way.
oh yeah, poke. No, he's not.
Classic. Sorry.
Yeah, boy. I'll be right back. I got to get Curtis's insulin real quick.
All right. Hey Carl, just I do exactly the same thing you just mentioned in the comment as well. I'm personally turning on and off the candles. I turn on and off the cluster, just depending on what you're looking at. So yeah, it's really important, particularly if you're using Go charting or even EXO, to be comfortable with how to turn tools on and off, because it's pretty easy to wipe your chart out, and you need to be able to rebuild it really quickly. If you're not comfortable with that, you need to get comfortable with it. It's nice to see Poke's been around since early days. Must be an OG. Yeah, if we're all seeing the moves, what you mean we're starting to see the structure starting to form moves? Is that what you mean, Andes? Thanks, Bearish Bull. Young Cryptic, I've only been looking at the ES for probably 3 or 4 days. So I set up the TraderVet account last week. I haven't funded it yet. I'm planning to fund it in the next. I'm probably going to send some money off to them tomorrow to get some money in there. Kind of been trying to paper trade it, but the last 2 or 3 days, it's really just learning the tools and how to place a trade and how to what's the difference between. One of the cool things on the micros, and I'm not an expert by any stretch. That means I've only been playing for a couple of days. One of the really cool things is, compared to what one of the frustrations with crypto is, that you can do stop orders, which means that you can predetermine all of your levels and you can place your order as you place. You can't do that the same way in crypto. It's not as easy anyway. So I'm really enjoying. I can see the benefit of the ES or the micro ES. Alex, I'm at this stage, I'm going to go with TraderVate initially. When I've checked out Quant. Jingles and I have done a lot of research on a couple of different ones, but Quant was one that I looked at. I quite liked the interface. Quant was really nice. It's really smooth. But I've downloaded TraderVate last week. I didn't like it initially, but as soon as we worked out how to turn the TPO on, and it was also when we turned off auto fit, which was one of the settings in there, we found it's pretty good. It's also basically cheap or free to get started. I talked to their help desk guys yesterday, and the only ongoing cost, if you're just on the free account, is it's a minimum account size of 250, and then it's $13 a month for data. Obviously, the ES and the micro ES, etc. So for me, $13 a month to get access to trading futures, I think, is a pretty good way to start off with. And you pay a little bit higher commissions, but I think for a beginner, I'm going to start there. And if I get good at it, then obviously check out something that's maybe more sophisticated. Sure, I'll do a video on the on TraderVate. The TraderVate site's actually got an amazing. They've got heaps of great videos. I actually watched a couple of their videos to learn how to do some of the basics. Yeah, thanks, Eric. Yeah, I see. Yes, to trade on the CME. That's right. So the data feed for TraderVate for the CME is only $13 a month. The platform that I'm looking at trading initially, as I said, is only because it's called TradeOvate, so TradeOvate. In the Discord, the guys have set up under the different trading platforms. There's actually a channel for Trade-O-Vate as well, which it's in there, and some of us have been sharing our experiences with it so far. There's no E on that, so it's just Trade-O-Vate. Once again, I'm not necessarily promoted. I've only just started playing with it. Probably the best thing for me, besides the cost to get into it, because it's free, that they don't charge you for the charting software. And I know some of the others, because I know if you're interested in quant, you can get a free account through AMP Futures, and they give you access to quant for free through them. And they give you a demo account as well. And so I had a demo account set up through them with quant, and it was really nice. I really liked it, and I was actually about to fund that account, but then I discovered Trade-O-Vate because I wanted to find something that had a mobile app, and it was also cross-platform, and it had a web app. So Trade-O-Vate, you can access your charts through a browser. You can place trades to the DOM on your phone, as well as its Mac and PC. So for me, like I'm quite like technology, so it seemed to be the most modern of all the ones I looked at, except for Quant. Quant's PC only, but they've got a really smooth interface. It's quite a nice interface. It's a nice package. I haven't slept yet, Andy's. Unfortunately, I opened the worst mistake you can make when you get home from work is look at the charts. Because you look at the charts and there goes my evening.
Yeah, that's why I always say, like, you got to try to take a break from the charts, like completely disengage, because if not, you'll just get stuck in the zone and
Absolutely
be run down.
Yeah. Dim is the basically free and $13 a month for data. That's on Trade-O-Vate. They've got 3 different accounts. The free account is the base account where you pay the highest commissions, but they don't charge you a monthly fee if you're prepared to pay slightly higher commission on the trades. Once again, I haven't funded it. I'm planning to fund that in the next day or two, and then I'll start trading it a little bit. I spoke to Brad before we started the stream. I personally don't like paper trading because I can't control myself. So I tend to like having a little bit of money in my account, and I'll just do really, really small trades with a tiny bit of money, because I find if I've got a little bit of money in the game, I take it a lot more seriously. So for me, with the micro ES, and I quite like the micro, I think it's kind of cool. The contract size are really little. You can start off with a very small amount of money, and you're not risking a whole lot. And I think that's a good way, personally, for me. That works for me.
You see the charts in your sleep, Andy. That's the first step of the journey right there. I definitely feel that. Where's he one at? He decided to step down. He didn't want to be on stream anymore.
It's a shame. I remember when I discovered that. I think quite a few of us found him through Jason Kasper's site. Jason put us onto C130 on back in the day. It was C137, yeah. And I remember watching him running that other indicator package, Market Cipher, and yeah. he could work that thing like no one's business. It was amazing to watch.
Yeah, he knew all the nuances of that.
Yeah.
He's trading market structure though, so seen the light.
Absolutely.
So we're looking at a footprint chart right here of the ES, right? And so we've seen every time as it comes to the bottom, we're seeing some buying, right? Some people selling, and we see at the bottom, right, you see this 0, which shows that there's not a buyer here, but there's a seller. We saw 663 sellers come down, and price didn't continue down, right? So if we see 7, that means not a lot of people are selling down here, so that makes sense. Supply is shutting off, price probably, can continue to move up. But when you see this number, this 663 down here, and price doesn't continue to go down, we just saw that point of control kind of shift up. Price doesn't continue to go down. That's kind of telling us that, there is a buyer just kind of lurking in the waters. This was the overnight low over here. We busted it. This is B period and C period on the TPO. I know it's not good. You got to drink it though. medicine. It's never good. Yeah, it's disgusting. Yeah, I kind of think there's like some psychology aspect of medicine and kids. Like they make this medicine taste like shit and they put it in a shot glass and they're like, here, shoot this thing back, you know? Yeah, Van, he saw everything there was to see with Market Cipher and then still knew that it was hocus pocus. The Nasdaq's on the low, but the Dow's kind of climbing up. We're seeing a battle here where sellers came in before, you got a little rebound. Sellers are giving it another little decent go. We'll see if they push us down from here.
You're looking at the footprint chart, is that right?
Yeah, this is the footprint for the ES. I look at it.
What are the numbers? What do
Okay.
the numbers actually represent? Is that number of contracts? Is it?
Yeah, so it's numbers of contracts. So this is what trades on the bid, and this is what trades on the ask. On the right side is that what trades on the ask, so the buys, and then the left side is the what trades on the bid, which is the sells.
Yeah.
Got to get JC on TPO. I don't think that's ever gonna happen, man. He makes money
from affiliates.
pushing the affiliates with Market Cipher. He's kind of holding a pocket.
Market Cipher is fine as Market Cipher works as long as the market's trending in one direction for a long period of time.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times it gives you if the market's just going in one direction. But what's crazy is that, you know, I mean, it's not really crazy, I guess. It's what happens is most people only know how to buy. They don't really know how to short. And so they only know how to use the indicator to go up. They don't really know how to use it to go down. And there's not a lot of good information out there about it. So, and it's really just a bunch of indicators kind of smashed together, you know.
Yeah.
You think he would have if we hadn't talked so bad about him? Oh yeah, James kind of went in on him one day.
I'm pretty sure that was James.
Yeah.
Hard call.
Yeah. But that's James. He probably, yeah. I mean, he had messaged me about taking the boot camp, and then I told him, you know, for sure, just sign up on the website. But I don't know. I mean, he could have taken the boot camp. I have no idea. You know, you know, we can't see everyone's faces. Not everyone has to share their camera. Cover your ears, guys. We sick down one more tick. Oh, come on. It wants to do it. There's just a buyer down here.
You've done a short obviously a while ago.
Yeah, so I shorted the point of control right here. So as price came up, right? We saw it kind of just sit right here. I was looking at the TPO, but then I was kind of glancing at this as well. And we didn't see it get above. There we go.
The money goes into my piggy bank.
We didn't see it get above. Now I'm trailing two more, but with it not getting above that point of control, it's kind of leading me. I'm about to close this trade quick.
Sub-filled.
All right, closed it. But with it not getting above, I figured we might get one more little test to the downside, which is, you know, kind of what we got. I'm out of the trade now. I took the rest there, but kind of.
What do you when you're trading the ES? Like, how many ticks do you sort of wanting to get as a minimum to make it a worthwhile trade? I know that's hard to answer, but
How many ticks?
yeah, like, are you looking for 4 or 5 to go? Yeah, that's worth it. Or
For me, and especially when you're first starting out, I like to take like 8 ticks off the bat. Luis, you made $56 today? Good shit. I like to take like 8 ticks off the bat. So if you're trading on the ES or the MES, right, your target should be 8 ticks.
okay.
If you're trading on the ES, yeah, you can cover your fees with one tick. So, you know, if you have to take one tick, the thing is with the ES, it's a lot easier to just get out at break even and just, you know, take the fees, because the fees are not as much as they are on cryptos. Like crypto, you've got to be more patient. You've got to kind of let the trade work out. You see this point of control moving down now. I'd wait to see how it acts down here at this 7. See if more sellers come in down here.
You've confused Alex, Brad, with you said that can you just go over the bids and the ask again, just to make sure everyone's on the same page there?
Yes, I will. 1 second, guys. Let's see if sellers come in here. Let's see. So bids are buys, yeah. Yeah, bids are buys. So I'm confused now. Bids. So no, so this is how it works. So if you have somebody selling, right, that's the asking price. So this is the ask.
Which is on the left.
Which is on the right.
Oh, yeah.
And then the bid is on the left. But in order for a buyer, and a bid is a buyer, right? In order for a buyer to get into the market aggressively, so it's shutting off. Look at, see this number like just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and we're not getting any follow through. So if sellers don't push this thing down, this thing's going to come back up to the point of control. Trying it. If we get above the point of control, we're going to come back up. Probably to like 94, the VWAP. You guys are talking about Jason Casper's religion.
He speaks Hebrew on his podcast. I mean, on his streams quite a lot. He always finishes off with a prayer or something that's in Hebrew. I'm pretty sure it's Hebrew. Not that I speak it.
Yeah, so we saw these sellers try to come in at the bottom. They couldn't, right? So there's, you know, this is key right here. There's a buyer right here somewhere, right? If selling is coming in, and price isn't going down, well, why not, right? So if you're looking at this on a delta chart, if we pull this chart up here, yeah, look
at that. He's got a shout out from JC stream.
I did?
Yeah. Said you're really good at TPO, apparently. That's from Buzzle.
I just asked Jason if he's good at TPO, and he said no, but shouted you out on stream. Yeah, and like me and Jason have never had any issues. It was James that went in on him. Yeah, I mean, I like, the reason I like Jason is because he actually is willing to learn. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people, like if you were to talk to Crypto Face and ask him like, hey, do you want to learn TPO? He'd be like, fuck you, pencil neck. You know, like, and that's just toxic. You know, I feel like, you know, it's like, Jesus Christ, bro. Like, what's your deal? If we trade this to Delta.
I have to admit something. When I started getting into crypto, I found Crypto Face's stream and I thought it was mesmerizing to see this guy trading millions of dollars in particular trades, and it just blew my mind. But my thing that I admit to is I don't know what pencil neck actually means.
Yeah,
I think he's having to go at anyone who does TA, but I don't know.
I think it was like anyone who like doubted him or something like that. I don't know. It just fucking seems stupid to me.
It's weird.
Let me change this to the 30-minute. You can really take a look at this. Nice. Super. Very cool community vets. Yeah, what's up, man? Hey, welcome. Join the Discord and get in there, introduce yourself, and be like, yo, I'm Duper. Thanks for the sub, man. So I changed this to Delta so you guys can kind of see it. Do we just start a new bar? No. Why this thing's all fucked up? We tried to break it low. I don't know why this thing's all messed up. What's going on here? Let's try to reload. Counter traders, people that say he's fake. Oh, so I must be. That's actually how I found out about Crypto Face. Is I counter traded him. I didn't know who he was, and someone's like, "Bro, you're counter trading Crypto Face," and I'm like, "Who the fuck is that?" Let's just go back to the daily. Okay, so now we're gonna put in a poor low. Big. There you go. There's that supply. Well, kind of ruined our example, but see what happens. Anyways, you can see, now we're seeing this negative delta, but as we were coming down, you could see how the delta was getting big at the bottom and wasn't breaking, right? So if we're looking at this, you could see like there's 1900 contracts shorting right here, and they can't break this low, right? So if they don't break this low, you see them adding right here, and price keeps bouncing up. This is telling us that there's a buyer down here, even though it's trading negative delta, which is mean, and I'll explain that because I kind of got sidetracked and stopped, but that's showing us that there is a position out there that is buying this up. And we see it kind of bounce right there. We saw a little final push. It gave its way, and this is what they call the Andes. So I'm gonna rename this. This guy had the ball. He passed it. He got caught off sides. And now the market is retreating up. This is our offsides play, the Andes special. Yeah. So this is how it works, Alex. So we have the ask right here, right? And this is people that are selling. Then we have the bid over here, and these are buyers. Right? In order for a buyer to get in the market aggressively, he has to buy the ask. Right? And so these orders on the right side are the orders traded on the ask. So these are assumed to be, oops, fuck. How did I go back? These are assumed to be buy orders, right? And if a seller wants to get into the market, he has to sell the bid. And so this is what's traded on the bid on the left side of this chart. And so when you see something like this, or I mean, we saw this 663 and then we saw this and it kind of finally gave way. But what we were, looking for, your ears here. We get like 2 more ticks. It's gonna be could be loud in your ears. Yeah.
The money goes into my piggy bank.
So just a nice easy trade off the bottom back into the point of control. But you'll see sometimes there's a lot of selling. Like right here, we're selling, but price isn't continuously going down, which means that a buyer is just being passive and trading on the bid, right? So the seller is trying to sell price. He wants to get in the market. He wants to continue it down. Dang, should have ran that a little bit more. But this is a classic offsides play right here. Really running. Damn, should have held. That's all right. And your when you're seeing stuff like this, and you see the same thing when we're looking at crypto, if you see some spots, and we saw it right here, I'll show you guys. Candles on so you guys can really see it. So as this candle was forming here, we saw a bunch of selling come in, right? A bunch of selling come in, and price just stopped and didn't get any continuation. And this is telling us that people are trying to sell, so they're selling the bid, trying to get in to go short, but price is just stopping, right? And then right here is kind of shutting off. But if you see something like this, this is kind of leading you to the opposite direction. Because if there's a bunch of supply in the market, a bunch of sellers in the market, right, then price should continuously move in that direction. Maya. And it doesn't. And so that's what's telling you, like, I mean, you can see it on this other bar too. You see the selling coming in here, right? Definitely more selling than buying. And if we look at, go to GoTrade, we can see it a little bit better as well. You can see here, which is one of the reasons I like GoTrade. I like both of them, but you see all this selling get busy at the bottom, right? And then as soon as we get above the selling, buyers came in, pushed price back up. Sellers tried to hold here. This bar opens up, ticks down back to where the selling was at, back to where these buyers originally came in. They came back in, and once they got above the selling here, more buyers came in and pushed price up. Right, and then sellers are trying again at the top. But if scroll this up a bit, when we see all of this selling here, as buyers start to push it up and they get above their spots, they'll keep buying more, and as we get above this prior selling, they'll get busy, buy, and they'll go to these stops, right? This is a weak spot up here. So this was just a bunch of people probably taking profit, getting out, and then real sellers came in at the bottom. These are the retail traders, right? That's what I always tell you guys. I used to be a professional at selling bottoms and buying tops, but as they're not paying attention to the market structure, so they didn't get in here, the market moves quickly, runs these stops, and then they get busy down here, and now they're trapped, right? And their stop is going to be here. So as price continues to go up, if we see more buyers come in, sellers are trying to average in here. If buying gets up to here, you're going to see an influx of positive delta, influx of demand, and we're going to push up past that, right? And then the next spot that these sellers will look to defend is going to be up here. So hopefully that clears it up, Alex. I didn't mean to confuse you. Or one time framing down on the ES. Yeah, so I can show you guys what I was looking at on the ES too. So on the ES, this is what I'm looking at. So this is just a bid-ask profile, same thing as what we were just looking at on Go charting, but this is just for the session, right? So it's not just every 30-minute bar, it's just for the session. And so as B period came down, we got short, right? Somebody got short. Somebody got super short. And then C period gave him a little bit, right? Not really a lot of selling, but somebody was buying it up, and we saw that somebody was buying it up in B, so we expected somebody was going to be buying this up. And so we just went long here, and I just traded back to the point of control, which was at like 88. Yeah, like right here. Just back into high volume, right? Because I don't want to, I mean, I didn't expect it to, I mean, it did go right to the VWAP, kind of like I was saying earlier. But I don't know. I'm already like way past the daily goal for today, so I just am playing real safe now. But I mean, this is just, A period's got the ball, he passes, he's C's offside, so the ball's got to move back, and that's what happens, right? Now we're getting a real tear. Down X low. Yeah, all the way back to the point of control. And this is kind of what I was telling James. I was telling him that we're probably going to see some selling off the open. And I expect, because Apple has earnings the end of the day today, or after hours, and their earnings are going to be good. You know, that's just almost a certainty, especially, you know, we saw Tesla's earnings yesterday. Tesla had good earnings yesterday. And let's look at the Apple chart. Oops, wrong. We look at the Apple chart. What? No. Whenever I say, not right now though. Curtis, stop. You're not watching it. Like you have something to do. Read a book or something. And so we see Apple today. Let's break this up a little bit. We saw it put in some good value, some good excess, and then kind of traded down, right? Which is what caused that downside. But it's still not breaking into yesterday's value area high. So if it can't break into yesterday's value area high, it's going to probably return back to value. So it's in that excess, looking for imbalance. If it's real imbalance, we'll switch back down into this yesterday's value area high. We didn't, and now we're seeing a bit of a bounce. And you know, that's kind of what we're looking for. If we can, I don't know if we can look at Apple on the bid and ask. It's not showing anything over here. I might not have, because I'm connected through TD Ameritrade, and TD Ameritrade doesn't have level 2 data through that. But I'm mostly trading options for when it comes to this. I think so. I just need to hear 98 more times. Okay, one more time. And then we'll do the Apple will show up in my bid and ask profile. Okay, so we have sellers here, which is our ask. They're asking for a certain price. So this guy's asking for $1 for an apple. Brown apple. Terrible apple, right? Maybe he's selling pears or something. Pears. And then this guy is buying, and he's offering 90 cents. So he's saying, I'll buy one of your pears, but I want to buy it for 90 cents. So in order for these guys to agree, or for a transaction to occur, this guy has to either sell it for 90 cents, or this guy has to say, okay, I'll buy it for $1. And so one of them has to move up, or the seller has to move down. And depending upon who moves, that shows aggression, right? And with that aggression is how it's expressed on the bid ask profile. So this is where it trades, right? So if it trades on the ask, it's going to show up on this side. If it trades on the bid, it's going to show up on this side. But what happens sometimes is there is this guy, and he's selling pears, and he has 50 pears. And there's another seller who is selling for $1 as well, and he has 50 pears. And then there's another seller who's selling for $1 as well, and he has 50 pears. Well, when this guy came to the market, he had to buy 200 pairs. That's his goal, is to buy 200 pairs. And so this seller sells to him his 50, so this guy's gone, right? Then this seller sells to him his 50, and he's gone. This seller sells to him his 50, and he's gone. But this guy still needs 50 more pairs. And what happens is there's another seller up here, but he's selling his for $1.50, and he has 50 pairs. So now this buyer's got to move up to buy his last 50 pairs so he can fill his order. And this is what's happening when you're seeing this negative delta form and we're not getting any movement. The pair tastes like
key
sand.
thing.
I'm not.
The,
Yeah.
the key thing that just made sense to me then is that the person that actually owns the pair is a guy. The person on the ask side, it's the person willing to sell it. Like, I own the pair, I'm going to sell it. And you know how you said the buyer turns into the seller. Well, once I buy the pair, then I'm now automatically a seller.
Exactly.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah, and then as soon as you buy these pairs, right? You bought them for 90 cents. Well, you want to keep pushing price up. And as price keeps pushing up, since you're the aggressor and you just bought 200 pairs, well, now you're looking to sell them and you moved up. So now the price for pairs is 150 and you filled 200 pairs, but you filled 150 for $1 and you filled 50 for $1.50. So when you get up to this $1.50, and price is up here, if these buyers move up to start buying at 150, theoretically you can sell everything that you bought for a profit. Yeah, you'll wash on a quarter of it because you're selling it for what you bought it for, but for the other 3/4 of what you bought, you're going to be selling for a profit, right? And that's how it's looked at. That's what's actually happening.
It's just weird they call it ask. It's just an unusual way of describing it.
Yeah. It's old. That's why. The ask price. It's just like, people are selling stuff on eBay and, they're asking for a certain price. But instead of selling, they don't call it the sales because they called, and the letters are different too. When it's like buyers and bids, same letter, but selling and ask. So it is it's definitely a different way to just get confused with the jargon. Yeah. It just takes time. Sell on the bid. Yeah, so if you hear the term sell on the bid, that's just showing you that it's aggressive selling. That's it.
That's just the sellers coming down to meet the buyer, is that right?
Exactly, yeah. Yeah. Taka Hebi, thank you for the subscription. If you're new here, scroll down, join that Discord, and we will help you out. Introduce yourself and say what's up. You're using imbalance with delta values on single bars, right? On Go charting. On Go charting, I'm using cluster charts. Yeah, I'm using the cluster chart. The imbalance, I'm pretty sure it's very similar, but I'm just I don't need to see imbalances. They don't do anything on crypto. Not that I am aware of, at least. The values are buy and sell. Yeah, they're just buy and sell.
I've totally screwed up my trade of 8 charts. They've just done weird stuff. Oh well, there you go. No more paper trading MES.
It's an underestimated subject. Yeah, well, I mean the whole auction process, Andy, is not taught very much, and people don't look at this. Can this also be looked at as initiated selling? Where at, Andy? Where at? So look, we're getting right back to that spot, right? So this is that spot I was talking about earlier. So now that we're above this, we'll look for buyers to come in, and then you'll see you'll see that little movement here. But if buyers don't show up, you're seeing some selling. Here, I can zoom in on it so we can see it a little bit easier. And remember, this could be, you don't want to pay attention. See, there it is. So you don't want to pay attention to, oh, there we go. You don't want to pay attention to this or this, right? This is just to find levels, but instead you want to pay attention to how price is acting right there. So we saw this selling come in, but price still moved up. If this was real selling, then price would move down. This is telling you that someone's trying to aggressively sell to protect their stop, which is right here. And some buyers just sitting there like, sure, I'll take all these apples off your hand. And then, you know, we hit that nice little pump, and then there's more stops right here. So we can expect a bit of selling up here, right? And so here's buyers showing up, and it could be a seller just letting them buy. And if this supply runs out, then we'll see it pop just like that, right? Now we're seeing initiated buying, and then that was responsive selling there. And for that one, we got to hit him with the
You know, I might pump, but I don't dump.
the chuckle at the end of that video is the fucking best. All right, so that would have been a pretty decent entry right there. That top should have been paying closer attention. That Elon, yeah. The shit was just so funny. And they had great earnings yesterday. And they actually posted like a $25 million profit on crypto. And you know, that meeting strategically is placed right before earnings. You know what I mean? Like Elon's smart when it comes to that shit. He does that shit on purpose. And the tweet yesterday where he posted that he's his Texas factory is going to be a mile long.
What was the profits? I didn't actually see the results. What did they finish with? Do you know?
I didn't
Look it up. Right.
Yeah, I didn't see. We could look at yeah, so they beat by 48%.
What?
Yeah.
48%. That's incredible.
Yeah, he was saying, I was reading the review from it yesterday. He was saying that yesterday that the only reason that they're not making more profit is because of the chip shortage.
Yeah.
That's it. Is that site on an indicator that I'm looking at? Duper, this is Go Charting. So if you go to gocharting.com, this is Go Charting. It's not an indicator, it's market profile. It's a time price opportunity chart. And so we'll just go to, and this one is EXO chart. Same idea, just two different options, really. I'm just a neater, so I have both. But you're looking at this as market structure, right? These are 30-minute periods broken up into TPOs, and if we zoom in, you can see the letters. And what this does, it just eliminates the noise from your chart, right? You don't have all these moving averages and, you know, whatnot. You're just seeing the actual market structure, right? And the trade that we took, you know, last night, we took it on the break of structure. So, and it's, you know, posted in the Discord. But we saw price come down. We had a good auction. Price moved up, built some value, popped up, built some more value above previous value. So we started to see value move up. Break of structure, we get in and we catch a nice ride up. And so now we're starting to put in some value up here. So we go into this excess and then imbalance. We come up, we get good excess on the top, pull back, right? Can't fill single prints. And then put up, and now we're starting to form a new structure to the top. Now we saw a nice little stop run at the top, and you know, we didn't really didn't really break. We saw some responsive selling up here. Didn't really break up into this upper excess. So now we're just forming some value. So what we want to see, and if we look at this, and this is what I was talking about earlier, so we see value area high, value area low. We're seeing value kind of shift down, but now we're back into yesterday's value area. So if we continue up and we're able to test this value area high from the previous day, that's going to give us that light bulb moment where we're thinking, okay, we need to be looking to the long side. I mean, we've already been long bias, but it's telling us that we can still keep going higher, right? And then what we have to do is find our levels above, but we'll do that. And that's that's kind of how this is set up. It's based off of value. We're not looking to trade the price. We don't really worry about the price. We're just looking to trade the structure, and we're trading from value, right? You're not going to see any $1 million trades, even though I am tempted just to do one, just to post it, just to shut one person up. Not $1 million trade, but just like a large trade, because I know exactly what's happening. And a lot of people think that he's not going 100x, but it is 100x. It's just that he's only using a certain percentage of his account. But those are 100x trades. So, but a lot of people, they look at it and they see that it's a like 7 point whatever, but that's a 100x trade. You can tell if you do the math. And math happens to be my game. So but yeah, we're just seeing, we're getting up into this upper value. We're trading above value and putting some more value in. So we're above yesterday's point of control. And so if we continue to raise this price, we'll have to start looking at our other levels. And for levels, I like to go on to the updated. Yeah. My handy dandy trading view and find our levels up. And I've kind of already drawn the levels. So these are the levels. This is on the Binance chart, but they pretty much match up. I mean, they're off by a couple of ticks, or a couple of points, but these levels on Binance seem to be more consistent than Bybit because of the amount of volume that's traded through Binance. But yeah, his chappie's gone to sleep. He needs to. It's early morning for him.
Only 20 past 1 in the morning. Fine.
And so look at this, guys. So back to the ES, right?
Andy, I'm trying to recover my ES chart. That's what I'm actually doing. I don't know what the hell I've done to it.
We saw our little offsides play, right? It worked nice. Came all the way back up to here. This bar opened here. And we saw it trade up, but couldn't take the top of that bar. So we continue that one-time framing down, right? And so what it's searching for, and if we pull over the actual ES TPO, you see as price retreats up to here, it retreats back to value, right? Retreats back to value. So it gets out of the value, comes right back to the volume point of control, which is the fairest price, because that's where the most transactions have been done at, retreats back here, and then sellers sell it again. So retail traders got short right here. They got their heads ripped off. They had to buy their position back, right? Because they sold. So they have to buy their position back. And so guess who's selling it to them? Institutional, smart money, us. People like, trade vets. This is us. We're selling it to them. We sell it to them, and then we write it down. Simple because we trade value, and we're not getting short at bottoms and getting long at tops. We're trading value. Nice, easy. this is, I don't want to say easy because it's never easy, right? It takes time to kind of see these things, but this is textbook, right? If you look in Jim Dalton's Mind Over Markets book, this is, I could probably rip a page out, take a picture of this and stick it in there. It would just say the trade vets in the background, which it probably should anyways. No, I'm just kidding.
But you said a while ago you were potentially going to be able to talk to him at some point. Where are you at with that? Is that still happening?
Yeah, it's still happening. I'm gonna be chatting with him on the 4th is the plan right now.
That's pretty cool.
Your kid sounds pretty sick. Can you let them? You can let them lick the handrails. No, I don't. I think so. My kids slept in with me last night because my wife's working, so sometimes they try to sneak into the bed. And I mean, I don't even notice them sometimes, but I sleep with the fan on, and they're not used to sleeping with the fan on, so I think she's just congested from sleeping with the fan on. Because I like to sleep like cold, you know. I'm used to, you know, being in the field in the army, and you know, just put your sleeping bag on, zip it all the way up, and then just, you know, sleep. So I like it to be, pretty cold when I sleep. Some people are not used to it, like my kids. You know, that's what I always try to tell them. Like, you guys have an easy ass life. I don't want to hear any complaining. Oh yeah, Duper. In the boot camp, we go deep into everything. Oh, give me a second. My wife just got off work. Get calling me.
Other thing to note, Duper, with the TPO Bootcamp, because I did the first course as well. Your learning doesn't stop there. It's really just such a massive eye opener, and it really gives you a really good grounding and understanding of what we're looking at. But there's so much more to learn once you've gone through that, because it's just continue. It's a fantastic foundation though. So you can, after the boot camp, you can leave that course and have a really good understanding of what the guys are talking about, and start to practice trading using the methodology. It's quite an enlightening thing if you've traded before, and then you've discovered TPO. It's one of those things you can't unknow it once you know it, because you look at the market in a totally different way. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with boot camps coming up. I know James, or 3M trader managers, all that sort of thing. So I'm sure I'll send him a message to tell him, or ask him to what's going on with that.
Sorry about that. Yeah, so we didn't there was only like 4 people signed up in August. So we kind of just moved those August people to we asked them if they wanted to come into this last week of July, right? It'll be for me, what I'd like, the real reason I really like to do it is because this way I'll be able to pull full focus into the trade room. Yeah, Duper, we have it's basic level, so you know, it's for anybody that no matter the amount of time you're trading on or you've been trading. It gives you
Duper, I only started trading in February, so you'll be fine.
Yeah, exactly. $3.75. What, Cryptic, were you going long all day? But yeah, and so the plan ahead for the boot camps, because I really do enjoy teaching it live. I think that's probably like my favorite way. Look at this huge bid, guys. Oh, it ran away. There's like an 800 lot sitting right here. But I really do enjoy trading it live, or trading it live, teaching it live. And so what we'll do is we'll kind of like put like a sign up roster in the Discord, and then people that say that they want to take it, what we'll do from there is we will, like, once we get enough people signed up for it that want to take it, then we'll hold the class, right? But we are going to record, so I'm going to go record like every slide individually and then just kind of piece them all together. That way all the good information's out there. I have all the questions saved from everything as well, so that way I can make sure that everything's in there. And I've been watching back all the streams too to make sure I'm not, leaving stuff out of all of that stuff, right? Well, I'm a poor third world saving up $200 now. Won't open when I eventually accumulate. Now it'll be open. We'll just have to wait till we get enough people to sign up.
Boots, you just a question about what platform I'm going to use. Well, I'm intending to use Tradeovate, but I think I've just screwed my charts up. So once I fix that problem, I'll be back on Tradeovate. But there's plenty. Like I rate Quant. It looks really good. And if you're really hardcore and want to blow your mind, Ninja Trader and Sierra Charts, the other two to check out. But it's just personal preference ultimately.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It's all about what you're comfortable with. If I were to go back to the beginning, knowing what I know now, I would probably have gone with Sierra Charts. But if you're not good with computers, and I'm talking like Windows 95 type style, then Sierra Charts could.
Sierra Charts.
Yeah.
Sierra Charts looks like Windows 95.
Yeah. And so, like, if you don't have, I mean, it's so customizable. You can do whatever you want with it, but
yeah. I've been watching a whole bunch of features videos, and some of them are from 4 or 5 years ago, and they're all using Sierra Charts.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like you watch, I like shiny things, so that's why things like Quant and stuff are quite nice.
There's a guy named Peter Resnicek. He was like you call it like a protege kind of Jim Dalton, and he uses a software called Window Trader. I think you can buy it from him. But it's basically
I watched a video he did actually, and he was showing Window Trader. It was just like, what?
Yeah, and it's like ugly as shit, right? It's like, ugh.
Yes.
But I mean, that's how he eliminates all the noise. And he trades, I mean, the way that he trades is just nuts. He does like iron condors, iron butterflies. He does a lot of options plays. But he's, I mean, really smart dude, and learned from the source, from the godfather of the TPO. So
I've been really I've been enjoying watching the Confessions of a Market Maker videos on YouTube, just the interviews they do with the guys that trade over the last year or two. It's really cool.
Oh yeah, JJ's a great guy. JJ has he's got some good videos on YouTube and stuff, and he used to be a market maker.
Yeah.
He made stocks and stuff, but he knows like that world, that market maker world. So it's pretty cool insight, especially to hear it from a source. Yeah, Jim Dalton uses Window Trader as well. Yeah.
Episode 2 of Confessions of a Market Maker is a must-watch for anyone interested in TPO, in my opinion. It's mind-blowing. Yeah. He talks about as market makers how they use TPO market profile, and it's just, it's amazing stuff.
And that's the thing, is like, it's so simple, especially when you look at it. And I think that's why, Jim Dalton, one, he's just like a really dry guy, when he's on the mic, but they look at his chart and they're like, ugh, like, what is this ugly shit? They don't see any like, dots and rainbows and all this, shiny things. And so they're like, nah, no, thank you. Because, humans are like fish, right? It's only the big fish that will just bite a hook, right?
Yeah. Funny.
Yeah, I think it's VWAP Trader 1 on Twitter.
Yeah, that's JJ, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, JJ Gorilla from Vancouver. Yeah, and JJ was trading back like Jordan Belfort times. Like what's that movie called? What's that for? I can never remember the name of that movie. Wolf of Wall Street. That's that story on Jordan Belfort, and that's when JJ was out there.
They did interview. I think the last episode I think is, is that Walter Demir or something like that? The guy that traded for about 35 years. That was a really good interview.
Oh yeah,
one of the last episodes he did. It was really, really cool because he's just written a book, but he just retired and it's just they chewing the fat about the days, what it was like to trade back in the day. That's cool.
Yeah, they have really good
guests.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, it's like they don't just have, I mean, in what's cool actually about that is they have some people on there. Like they had this one guy on there. He was a options trader, but he wasn't like a big options trader. His YouTube, I think, had like 2,000 people on it. But they probably talked to him, they liked him, and it's pretty cool that they do stuff like that. And JJ is like super down to earth. Like if you want to chat with JJ, you can just send him a message and he'll chat with you. So like, that's a key thing too, that you're looking for that personability. If they're not, if they're telling you to suck their dick or something like that, it's not really.
It's your favorite line from that YouTuber, isn't it?
I think it is. Well, it's just because I haven't watched too much of it, but then somebody was saying one day, I guess they said the trade vets on the stream, and so I decided to go over there, and I was just listening to it for a bit, and I was just listening to like how he was talking to people, and I'm like, my goodness, dude, like this thing's fucking rated R over here. Yeah, because I use the F word almost constantly, if you ask my wife, but that's the Irish and the English in me. It's just like part of the language. They just use the F word. And, but like to say that to somebody and people still just like, yes, I like that. Talk to me like that. And it's like, what? Just mind blowing.
Like the shock value, I think.
Yeah. So CO, what I'm looking for is I'm looking for it to see if it's going to hold this value area, right? We want to see if it's going to hold this value area high. This is ETH right here. If we can hold above the value area high, then maybe this long to test this upside. We have a poor high on ETH, it looks like. Yeah, we do. I would say that's a poor high on ETH, right? We have this poor high on ETH, and for me, that's telling me that buying shut off up here, right? And then sellers got busy, which is what kind of pushed us down. And that can be a bit of profit taking and also, initiated selling, trying to sell back into here. But if it holds, then start to look at this level here, this 3205 level. Right there, 3202 level. Maybe qualify along. What you want to see is we're going to get above this above all these sellers, and then see if you're getting this buyer response to kind of fill in this little zone right here. And then your first take profit, right, is probably, I would say, let me just draw it so it's straight. My first take profit on this would be this B and C high at 2316. And then the next take profit you could target would be this 24 level, because that's going to be the bottom of this structure from this previous move up. And then to the downside, you could catch a break of value back in, maybe into here, but you don't have a lot of you don't have a lot of liquidity to lean on. I like to look for some stops to get the move going, right? Because sometimes people need a bit of motivation, right? Kind of like I've talked about when you think about an auction, and I used this example yesterday in the boot camp. But like if you have a basketball and I say I'm auctioning this basketball off, and I say, okay, so this Michael Jordan signed basketball used in Game 6 of the 1996 championship, $100. Nobody bids, right? So then I say $90. Nobody bids. All right. Do I hear 80? Nobody bids. All right. Do I hear 75? 75. And someone says, boom, 75. Okay, oh, I got 75. Do I hear 80? 80. All right. I hear 80. Do I hear 90? 90. Okay. 90. Do I hear 100? 100. 100. Do I hear 110? And then people keep bidding it up. People keep buying it because sometimes it takes people a little bit of motivation. You know, it's human nature. If someone else sees value in something, you know, that's what's going to show the value, right? If you don't watch basketball and you don't know who Michael Jordan is, like, you know, might be living under a rock, but, you know, you're not going to value that basketball, right? Like, you know, who gives a shit about a basketball that's signed by Michael Jordan? I can't do anything with it, you know? So some people don't see the value until other people start to show them the value. And that's why that's what Price is searching for value. And the way that that is expressed to us is through the volume of the transactions of this two-way auction. So short underneath down to value, hit the first take profit. Good shit, Chirp. You took the weekend off too, didn't you? So that's a nice way to start the week. Trying a few more features now. TP is going all right. See how they respond. I bid 1,000. Right? Yeah, and that's just the thing is like, you know, it takes some time for some people to kind of step in and see that. And so that's what I like to look for, this liquidity to lean on, because that people get stopped out, we'll get a nice little spike, and you get a lot of people thinking, oh, okay, we're gonna go, let me jump in. But right here to the downside, right, we kind of have I would say maybe look for some support there, right? See if some buyers come in right there, and then if not, yeah, probably down here. We have like the VWAP down here, and point of control down here. So it's not a bad fade. Big value area on ETH too. So, and that poor high lets us know that buying shut off. I don't think there's a poor high on Bitcoin though. And the US market is just selling off. We're all the way down at 73. I can't wait till James wakes up. Because I sent him a message that said, I am a genius this morning, so.
What time difference is Hawaii? How far behind are they?
They're 3 hours behind me, so it's 5:30 for him right now.
Okay. haven't seen him on the stream for a while, so he's obviously enjoying his sleep-ins.
Yeah, well, he said he's preparing for the for next week's trade room. Stick to trading. You have no auctioneer talent. Yeah, thank you. I won't quit my day job. You gotta have like the right voice, you know. It's gotta be like born with you. You know, like for boxing, Bruce Buffer and his brother, I don't know what his brother's name is, but they both, like, one does it for boxing and one does it for the UFC. You know, the Let's Get Ready to Rumble guy. Yoda JC.
Do they look the same, those guys?
They're similar looking, yeah. And they both have like a kind of like extravagant dressing style, like a flamboyant kind of dressing style. Yeah. Very shiny. Yoda and Jesus Christ. Yeah, some people call me Yoda, some people call me James calls me Bitcoin Jesus. I just go by Brad. Michael. That's a middle name, Michael. Saint Michael. Right hand of God.
3 a.m. is preparing by sleeping. That's classic.
If you haven't had a chance to look up some panda videos, when you get some free time and you want to get a laugh, just type in funny pandas into YouTube and you'll find some great videos. They're funny animals. They like to sleep though.
You can tell you got kids, Brad.
What? Oh, because I watch funny panda videos.
Yeah.
You know, my kids are smart too. So my son one time was watching funny dog videos, right? And he's like, "Can I watch one more before bed?" And I said, "Yeah, sure." And so he's, you know, I mean, he's only 7. He finds a video about funny dogs that's 58 minutes long, and he's like, "Well, you said one more." I'm like, "Fucking A."
Mark, the question you just asked is, do you guys use TPO to trade on Bybit? So yeah, you want to answer that, Brad?
Yeah, you have to use it to compare though, because you can't get the TPO on Bybit, so you just kind of look at it side by side.
Yeah. So Mark, I personally trade on Bybit, but I use Go charting to work out my trade setups. So I'll have Go charting there. I'll set up all my plans, and then I use the Bybit data as well in Go charting. But then you place your trades into Bybit itself.
And I think they're working on like being able to place the trades on the Go charting charts, right?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, it's supposed to work at Binance at the moment, but it doesn't really work properly. It does funky things. It's frustrating because, as you know, Brad, when you've played with the futures and you can do stop orders properly, and you can't do that the same way in crypto, it's a bit frustrating.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair.
I did talk to the developer from Go Charting a week ago, and he said they're hoping to get all the Binance optimization stuff done in the next week or two. So hopefully, we'll see a nice update shortly.
Yeah, that'll be nice. And then once they get that done, it should be easy to transition to the next like adding more exchanges. Yeah. Like, so we add the Bybit and then add FTX and all that jazz. And then they're gonna add stocks and options and futures as well on there. Is what it looks like.
Yeah, that's the plan. Yeah.
You guys have preferred time to trade? Yeah, we trade the New York Open mostly. That's what the trade room will be, the New York Open. That's the most volume.
Definitely the most volume. We had one of the guys in the Discord actually did asked them guys if they could actually analyze some data, because there's a website you can download all the data from all the different exchanges. And so he did some really funky SQL functions for us, and compiled all the trade data over the last year. And yeah, the New York, actually the hour leading up to New York, the US Open, and then that period for the first 3 hours, by long stretches, substantially more volume than the other times of the day. It doesn't mean that you don't have big moves. I've found for the last 2 weeks, the 2 or 3 hours leading into the US Open have been probably the biggest moves. Yeah. The New York Open is what time is it? New York Open, it's 9:30.
Yeah, Eastern.
Your time, American time, Eastern time, 11:30 p.m. Australian time. Our Bitcoin CME futures. I suppose no is the answer to that question directly. However, the CME do have Bitcoin futures, though, don't they, Brad?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, to trade the actual Bitcoin futures, yeah, they're tradable. Yeah, you just have to have a good size account. But if you have a smaller account, you can trade the micro Bitcoin futures as well, if you want to. But it trades, trades very similar. US Brinks box. Yeah, and there's definitely some negative delta coming down here. Pretty much all stuff.
Yeah. So Jens is off to eat some food. See you, mate.
Nice. Later. Yeah, I think I'm gonna call it as well. We're gonna you know, I gotta get a workout in. So and it's about 8:30, so we've been going for 2.5 hours. So pretty good stream. Got some good trades, did some good review, and we got the boot camp later today. If any of you guys are interested in looking into the boot camp, it's not too late to sign up for this week. You just have to watch the recording on yesterday's. But if we go to the website, you can still sign up for the boot camp for today. There's going to be a day late. There's 21 more seats available. And then you can also, if you are not interested in the boot camp, you can sign up for the live trade room. And you'll see it's 1,000 years, so it's $200 off for the year, or you can pay $100 a month. Most of the people that got in early, we gave a good amount of time to get in early, so they got the $50 a month. But you know, in my experience, it's pretty much 100% worth it. I know if you look at, I was looking at this guy. So this is the guy I was telling you about, Chappies, that has like a video game trading style. And this is what his charts look like. You know, so just wild to me. But I was looking at this, like kind of comparing the trade room. Kind of comparing the
What is that?
yeah, exactly.
Looks like a game from the 1980s.
Yeah, that's what all of his charts look like. They look like a game. I mean, he's an algo trader.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit, you know, he has a different type of brain, but I can't remember where I found it, but his live trade room was like $250 a month, and then to like sign up for like the Discord and everything, it was actually like 12 I think it was like 20 to get like the full total package was like 20 grand for a year. Where it's at. I can't remember where it was at, but you know, I try to make it, you know, well, it's not really up to me, but we're trying to make it so it's like accessible for everybody. The whole point is not to make $1 million, it's to, you know, earn enough money for a daily income. Mark, are you having issues joining the Discord? The link below should be working. Let me look at it. Or here, I'll just pull up the Discord and send you the link. All right, copy. There you go. There's the link. Yeah, having a second screen definitely can help, Clockwatcher, for sure. Must be nice getting. Yeah, that's a fucking lot, man. 20K. Yeah.
As James said, for the live trade room, you've only got to get 1 or 2 ES trades and you're in front for the month.
Yeah, and that's how we're looking at it. Like if you know, if once you get to that level and you're trading on the ES, if you get 2 points, right? Each point is $50. You get 2 points. You know, that's for the month, right? And you might, you know, for the ultimate goal, like a longer term goal would be to get like 10 points a day, right? Or 5 points a day or something like that. So 2 points in a single month, if you know, should be pretty manageable. Especially if you know, stick to your trade plan and follow kind of you what we've got going on. But yeah, there's gonna be more classes, and then for those that do sign up for the trade room or the boot camp and get into that that other Discord that James made, I'll be I will be teaching every week, a couple of days a week, at some point, like either in the afternoons or the early afternoons, and doing follow-on training, adding more tools to your guys' belt. The boot camp is the basics, and you've got to learn the basics first before you can you got to learn how to walk before you can run. Like I always said, like, if your goal is to make $500 a day, you've got to make $10 before you make $500. And every time I've made $500 in a day, I've always made $10 first. So, that's how you really have to look at it, right? It'd be nice to make, $1 million a day, but if you want to make $1 million a day, you got to learn how to make $1 a day first. So, yeah, other than that, I'm gonna call it here, and appreciate everyone showing out. Thanks again, Progressive Martian for the 420, and we will catch you guys later. You guys have a good day.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Brad.
All right.
See you guys.